Okay, here we go with some 5-card limit draw. This video is designed for absolute beginners. In the hijack position, which is 2 off the button, pair of 8s is not strong enough. In that position, we're looking for a pair of 10s or better. And for a beginning player, you probably want to wait for a pair of queens or better. Here we have the option of playing the ace-king, or we can go for the straight and try and hit the jack. Either way, it's not really worth 10 cents. So I'm going to fold that hand. That's the correct play, but there is some advanced plays that you can make with that ace-king 10. Again, a pair of 8s is not a very strong hand in limit 5-card draw. The only way you'd be playing a pair of 8s would be in the small blind against the big blind, the big blind against the small blind, or here on the button I would play a pair of 8s. The only way I would play this hand would be with the ace-jack on a bluff, or if I kept all 5 cards and just bluffed. So we'll show you how bluffs rarely win at this level. I've already put in 40 cents, and the chances of him folding for 20 cents into 80 cents is about 0. But we're going to try anyway and show down a stone cold bluff for a bit of advertising for the rest of the session. We're going to play about 15 minutes of 5-card draw, and that should get us about 50 hands with a few interesting plays to talk about. For the absolute beginner, you need to know that the ace can play low in ace 2, 3, 4, 5, and the ace can also play as the high card in a pair of aces, or 10 jack, queen, king, ace for a high straight. Here we've got a pair of 5s, which is not strong enough. To call a raise, we want to have 2 pair or a pair of aces minimum. We see that red javelin has entered the pot and only drawn 1 card, which indicates that he has 2 pair or a flush or straight draw. Again, we see a pair of 8s under the gun, and we know to fold that hand. Now that we have 6 players, I recommend only entering the pot when you're in first position with a pair of aces or better. As you get better with the game, you can start entering with a pair of kings or better, or for the really good players, queens and some draws. With 5 cards that don't mean very much, if you have 2 cards 10 or better, it's good to try to make a pair to those. We saw that red javelin drew 3 cards, indicating that he has 2 high cards or a small pair. We didn't improve, but we know that do it 4 took 3 cards, so there's a chance to bluff the pot. It's a very bad idea to try and bluff 2 players. As we see, one has already improved, and we've lost another 20 cents. Let's see if we can get back our $1.30. And we finally find a good hand. 3 jacks is a very, very premium hand, and we will be raising and re-raising with this hand. It's almost too strong to raise against the big blind, but since we've shown 2 bluffs already, we might get some action. Nope. 1 small pot. Drawing 2 hearts to try and hit a flush is a very bad play, and one that you should never make. The 5 suits are spades, hearts, diamonds, and clubs. on this software I've made clubs green, spades black, hearts red, and diamonds blue. In the olden days, the 4 different suits used to represent 4 parts of the English government back in the 1500s. Hearts represented the clergy or the priests. Diamonds represented the aristocracy or the rich people, and spades represented the peasants or the workers, and clubs represented the military or the army. It's argued that these different suits were also in use back when the Chinese and or Indians invented card play, which could be argued goes back many thousands of years. We're looking for aces to play under the gun. What we have picked up is a 5, 6, 7, 8 straight draw, which is quite a weak draw. I recommend folding this hand under the gun, limping, which means not raising, or making it 20 cents and pretending that you have 2 pair. Now that we have 10 cents to win 65 cents, we want to try and hit that 9 or that 4 to make our straight. Red Javelin's chosen 1 card. We've chosen 1 card, and Tri-8 has raised with a pair of aces probably. So it's very bad idea to bluff here. We've got no hand, and Triad is going to win with his aces because he improved to 2 pair. A pair of 10s is defendable. We might put in 10 cents against this player that only has 93 cents left. He's from Canada, so we think we're probably behind. But 10 cents to win 43 cents is worth going for an improvement. We've both drawn 3 cards, which means he had a pair as well. And we won't be bluffing this hand because our bluffs aren't going very well at all. He thinks he's improved, so we only lost 10 cents extra. Here a small pair is only playable against our big blind Triad. Any pair is above average, so we're happy to raise or limp those 2 twos. Folding would be a bad idea. Okay, here we have ace and jack, and as you will remember, we want to have a minimum of 1 pair of 8s to play on the button, in my humble opinion. I started playing draw poker back in the year 2000, and it's one of the oldest variants of poker, and one of the most easy to understand. Here we obviously are above most hands that Red Javelin can have. We have the option of drawing 2 cards or 1 card to try to disguise our hand. But I think it's best to improve your chances of making 4 aces by discarding 2 cards. We know that Do It 4 has only drawn 1 card, which means he might have a straight draw or a flush draw, but it's most likely he has 2 pair. So we bet for value, and no one calls. That's a bit. We have nothing here except for 3 diamonds, and we know that we only want to draw to 4 diamonds, 4 spades, 4 hearts, or 4 clubs. Okay. 21 hands. We got 29 hands to get our 89 cents back. And let me tell you a little bit more about draw poker. When I first played, we played with a deck that only had 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, and aces. So you, in general, tended to get much stronger hands. And the games were also played 5 or 6 handed, like this game we're playing here today on Poker Stars. I was playing a pot limit 5-card draw game, which means that if there's 62 cents in the pot, you can bet up to 62 cents, not 20 cents like you can after the draw here in this limit game. For 20 cents we could try and hit a jack or a 6, but straight draws aren't very strong, so we'd prefer to only pay 10 cents. You see that Triad has a pair, he's drawn 3 cards. Dewitt's re-raised, so he's got a good chance of having 3 of a kind. Okay, we've got 2 pair, which looks a lot stronger than it is. It's a slightly weaker hand, but it's got potential against Dewitt 4's range because he's raised the last 2 pots. Discarded 1, and we've discarded 1. We just hope he's on a flush draw, but we'll definitely be giving him 20 cents. Oh, he had jacks and 4s. So maybe 6s and 7s is a fold in the small blind. Okay, I think we need a bit of assistance here to get some lucky hands. Let's try our friend Björk. See if her music will. There's a couple of good hands. I'm happy with 10s with 1 player behind me. For a beginner, you want to probably have queens.
I love him, 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 she loves this time. I'm gonna keep it to myself. She loves this time. I'm gonna keep it
all to myself. Okay, so we've got some pretty strong hands during that break. So we might have made it. Oh no, aces and kings are no good. I think he's made 3 10s, 3 eights, 4 eights, 4. Right. Yeah, and we might have got our first subscriber to our channel. Seems interested in watching some low stakes videos. What can I say? We made a full house before. That's always going to win. Very rare that you lose with a full house. Here we have is what's called a gut shot, which means we want to hit a jack right in between our hand here. That's generally a losing play. You could do it 3-handed or 2-handed, but 5-handed you're going to lose money going for those 4 jacks to win. Now we have a new player at the table, Shooter Guy, also from Canada. 1 Russian, 1 Ukrainian, another Australian. Looks like some pretty good players here. I don't see any silly action. Might be 1 or 2 professionals that are making a couple bucks an hour to beer money or saving up for a trip to Manchester. I think Heckatom's a good player. Pair of 3s again is too small. We're looking for 8s or better. Okay, we've got 3 4s, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a play. It's quite common, which is to only draw 1 instead of drawing 2. That will represent a straight draw or a 2-pair hand. And if Shooter Guy's got two pairs, he's definitely going to pay us our 20 cents. Nope, he was on a draw. Okay, we've got a flush draw, and instead of limping, we're going to actually make it look like we've got 2 pair, and hope that we can get just against 1 player for a bluff. Heckatom is probably got 3 of a kind or 2 pair, so this bluff's not going to work. If he stands bad, it's definitely not going to work. So that's the end of that. Okay, then we'll make this the last round. A fun little game. It'll cost us a couple of dollars, but yeah, that's, as I said, there's not any weak players at this table, so we've got a limp, which tends to be a sign of a weak player. So we'll just guess that he's a weak player at this stage and give him a purple mark. Everyone's drawn 3 cards, so a pair of 10s is not going to be any good. We've got a pair of 8s, and we've got the option of taking the ace with us or not. He's drawn 3 cards, so we're going to draw 2 and represent 3 of the kind. And we might get called in. Okay. Pair of 5's no good. Okay, last round for me. Nice, good luck. And 2, 1. Okay, Hacker Tom seems to know his business, so we'll give him a gold label as the top player. We didn't see any mistakes from Red Javelin or from Triad, so it's always good to give out more good player colours than bad player colours, because people tend to pay attention more to the mistakes other players make than paying attention to the good things that they do on the poker table. So on any poker table that you know 5 players, you really want at least 2 of them to be you want to respect their game and give them a gold note, because a lot of players think that they're the best player in the world. So Pythagoras might think he's very good and give, every player a purple note, and really that does nothing for your game, because you're not going to know who the bad players are, who the fair players are, and who the really good players are, unless you're paying a good quality attention to the moves. When you don't make a mistake, you really recognised. When you make a mistake, everyone sees it. So I'm sure on many other players, I've got a note from them saying that Pythagoras is a bad player. But I win a bit of money. So I'm a bad player that gets very lucky. Until next time, this is Pythagoras, Penny Pincher playing poker. See you next time. Bye for now.